they're releasing the Epstein files. Important Ghislaine Maxwell, a newly released DOJ interview transcript, says she does not believe that Epstein committed suicide. I do not believe he died by suicide, no.
Wow.
Wow. So they released the entire transcript. Here's the problem with what I think this is. The newly released transcript shows Ghislaine Maxwell testifying that President Trump never acted inappropriately with anyone or received any, quote, massages. Todd Blanche, did you ever observe President Trump receive a massage? Let me see here. Did you ever receive it? And she says, no, she never saw it. And did you ever hear Mr. Epstein or anybody say anything that President Trump had done anything inappropriate with massages?
Wow. Okay.
Or with anyone, anybody in your world? Absolutely never in any context. Wow. Damn. The DOJ released all—
How does that make sense? Because the big thing that I've seen is the Maria Farmer and Annie Farmer allegation and the blurred, censored Katie Johnson video where she alleges Trump raped her in Epstein's office, or no, not in Epstein's, at an orgy that took place at one of Epstein's residences, and Trump forced her to give her a blowjob when she was like 13 at the time. So, and that was from the Katie Johnson blurred, censored video. She filed a lawsuit against Trump in 2016, but received a lot of death threats by some of Trump's most diehard supporters, and ultimately withdrew her lawsuit days before the 2016 election. Previous to that lawsuit, in around April 2016, she also filed her first lawsuit against Trump, but that was withdrawn by her because of faulty paperwork filing. So that contradicts the Maria Farmer and Katie Johnson allegation, specifically the Katie Johnson allegation. I did see something with Maria Farmer's sister in an interview she did recently on network television in the US. She didn't allege that, so I'm referring specifically to the Katie Johnson blurred, censored video allegation. I'll put it up here. I might even get it up now.
Into this interview on my free will. No, there was nothing promised.
Here's the video I'm talking about.
Into this interview on my free will. No, there was nothing promised to me for doing this interview.
Excellent.
Yes, everything that I say at this interview will be the truth. I met Donald Trump at some parties I attend that I was working for Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. There was about 3 or 4 times that I had encounters with Donald Trump. I was 13. The first time that I met Donald Trump was at a party at Jeffrey Epstein's mansion. There was an orgy going on, and he was kind of watching off in the distance, and he basically asked if I could come over and give him a hand job. And at first, I wasn't very comfortable with it. This was like my first or second, first party, and I didn't, I didn't think that that was my responsibility. But my recruiter told me that I needed to do it, so I agreed to. And then he, I began to. Sorry, this is a little difficult, but before I gave him a hand job, he kind of slapped my hand away and said, "You need to use a glove." And the recruiter ran over and handed me a glove and said, "No one touches Mr. Trump's penis without a glove." So I needed to use a glove. I gave him a hand job, and then immediately after, he had an orgasm, he left, and I didn't see him again at that party. Jeffrey Epstein is a billionaire friend of Donald Trump's that was responsible for throwing the sex parties. I originally came to New York trying to be a model, and in my travels, I met a girl named Tiffany there who was very interested in me and said that, that's what she did, is that she helped girls, get what they wanted, and she could help me get into modeling. That she knew a lot of people that were higher ups, and that it would be no problem. And so that's why, but I would just basically have to come model at a couple of events and meet some people. It would be no sweat. So of course I went. That sounded like no big deal. And she was recruiting the girls to come to these parties, and they all looked, most of them were, my age. There was, maybe a couple girls that were maybe 14 or 15, but it seemed to me like we were all very young, so.
Okay.
Jeffrey Epstein knew that I was 13 years old. When he interviewed me, he asked me to get down to my bra, just my panties, and I thought that was weird, but modeling, maybe it was something about my figure. And he asked that I give him a massage. So and then he asked me my age. He asked me, and I told him, told him that I was 13. I told him why I was there. And he basically said, "Well, you'll do. I'm sure that you'll fit pretty nicely here." And then he tried to basically slip himself inside of me, and I pushed him away, and I said, I'm because at that point in time I still believed that there was models, and then there was the girls that did that. Like, I thought there was a separation. So I told him that I wasn't interested in that, but he said that I would do. And as far as Donald Trump, he knew that I was 13, and I believe that Tiffany told him he seemed to take a liking to me because I was I was so young, and I was also a virgin. So I don't know. It seemed like he wasn't really into having girls that were liked by the other guys. He kind of, the whole glove. He kind of liked things to be his first. If that, for lack of a better term, but he was the one who wanted to get to a girl before everyone else did. Donald Trump knew that I was 13 because the first night that I was there, Tiffany actually suggested that she had a whole bunch of different wigs, and I expressed interest in them. I always told her that I would love to walk around with blue hair, and so I tried some on, and there was a blonde wig that she said that looked great on me. So I wore that wig, and Donald Trump had specifically asked about me because I remind him of his daughter, and she said, well, she's 13 as well. So he knew the first time that he saw me, but he took a liking to me because I look like his daughter. And the reason I'm coming out now is...
Oh my God. I have to say, I believe every word she said. And I know some of Trump's supporters will deny it, say it's fake. Her identity has never been fully revealed and confirmed. I believe everything she said in this video.
When it happened originally, I just wanted to forget about the whole incident. And when I saw that he was running for president, I felt that it was my responsibility to come out and tell our country what kind of man this person is. I don't think that he should even be the dog catcher, let alone running the greatest country in the world. After I met Tiffany at the bus station, she took me to, basically went to her house, her apartment, and got ready. I put on a blonde wig because it seemed fun to pretend to be someone different, but we went to the party that I was basically interviewing for, and Jeffrey Epstein was the one that was running the party. He had a quick meeting with everyone that was employed there, and then he had a private interview with me. The first time that I met Jeffrey Epstein, he did try to force himself inside of me without getting the go-ahead or anything. And then it was probably about the third or fourth party is when he basically forced. It was another massage, and it was basically like, it wasn't sex, but there was penetration, and I told him that I didn't want that, but he kind of got a little irritated. So I don't know, there was something about him that I guess I kind of held him, I held a lot of resentment towards him. By that time that happened, I kind of already started catching on that maybe I wasn't there for modeling, and maybe I was just getting used for things, and I felt that I kind of held him.
This is fucking insane.
All transcripts and audio from Deputy AG Todd Blanche's interview with Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell. Holy shit, man. That's actually really big. I don't even know what to say. Yeah, wow. Pardon, here we come. Well, here's the problem, right? Is that Trump
Will she get a pardon? I don't think so. Will she get some clemency? Sentence reduction? I think yes. How much? She's serving 20 years or 22 years. I think she'll get something like 7 years off is my prediction.
has violated the trust, and I think that I think the way that he's acted has made people distrustful of him, and because of that, anything that he says and anything that people do, like, she could be telling the truth or she could be lying. Do you see what I'm saying? Nobody knows whether she's telling the truth.
Yeah, that's right. She could be telling the truth or she could be lying. But let's remember here, she has insider knowledge that pretty much even the highest authorities, intelligence agencies, might not even have. I mean, this is the woman who was Epstein's partner for 30 years. So what I'm saying is she has plausible deniability on some key things, I think, which she, I think, is using here. Because there's no way to prove that she is lying on certain things. So she's using plausible deniability. Plausible deniability, because there are a couple things I think she knows that even if she lies about them, the DOJ or anyone in Congress or the media or the FBI or CIA won't be able to prove that she is. So that's what I think has happened on a couple of points. Now, what those points are, I just woke up today here in Melbourne, and I'm just seeing this now like everyone else.
Truth or not. And I think that if he hadn't been so suspicious about how he handled the Epstein stuff, and they hadn't done such a bad job handling it at the beginning, you wouldn't be seeing this amount of skepticism. But because of that, I think that now you are seeing the skepticism, and there's a lot of people that just don't believe anything that they're saying, especially for a pardon, but I would believe it. Yeah, I don't know, man. Trump was always innocent. We always knew. I love this. As we knew, I know. Yeah, I don't know, man. Trump was always
This comment is a bot from China, clearly.
innocent. We always knew. I love this. As we knew, I know my president. I don't think that anybody, you should not trust a serial sex trafficker, pedophile, to be telling the truth. Now, you shouldn't also assume that she's lying.
True.
But you shouldn't, like, this is a thing where you trust but verify. Obviously, you cannot be sure that this is happening, but at the same time, you can have a general idea, right? She said never saw, does not clear him. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, maybe she was not involved or she didn't see it happen, but it happened anyway. I mean, there's a lot of ways that this could go down that would not necessarily really exclude that reality. So yeah, put her on a lie detector test. You realize that stuff doesn't work, right? I mean, like, why is every single deposition...
Yeah, those are extremely, extremely faulty and unscientifically proven for conclusive evidence to prove someone is lying.
Not done with a lie detector test. Well, the reason why is because it's not accurate. Like, if it was accurate, everybody would be using it. Yeah, they're not reliable. It's like kind of like reading...
Yeah. The science, and this has been shown in court, is extremely unreliable and inconclusive for proof of lying. The polygraph test, etc.
It's one step up from body language readers, where it's like, yes, sometimes this is true, but it's not true at a ratio that's high enough that you can use it as a frame of evidence or a frame of proof that somebody is or isn't doing something. So yeah, sorry guys, Canada pulled back its tariffs. Yeah, I'll look at it in a second, but let me focus on this first. And so yeah, let me see if I can find the other post about this. See if I pull it up and see if there's anything else. It's too easy to fake it. Yeah. The Trump Department of Justice released the transcripts and audio of their interview with the Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell. Imagine that transparency.
Redacted though, buddy. Keep that in mind.
Man, Trump is innocent even with all the accusations against him. Did you see in person Trump? Probably sometime. Did you ever hear Epstein said Trump had anything
My God, Twitter is a cesspool of Trump shills.
inappropriate? Absolutely never. Trump? Probably sometime. Did you ever hear accusations against him? Did you see in person Trump? Probably sometime. Did you ever hear Epstein said Trump had anything inappropriate? Absolutely never.
And did you ever hear Mr. Epstein? And did you ever hear Mr. Epstein or anybody say that President Trump had done anything inappropriate with masseuses or with anybody in your world? Maxwell, absolutely never in any context. Blanche, do you know whether masseuses from Mar-a-Lago Spa ended up giving massages to, private massages, to Mr. Epstein? I'm not asking for what you may have read, but I can't see this here. From your personal knowledge, do you know whether that's true? I don't recall. Is it possible? Yes, but I don't remember. I don't remember that. So I don't recall that, but it's possible.
There's more of it here too. In my discovery, sorry, President Trump, there was nothing from President Trump.
Do you remember seeing that book or any portion of the letters in your discovery in New York? Yes. Okay, what do you remember seeing? Maxwell, I remember there was some portions of that book, but what surprised me was how few there were, because I thought if you had those, where are the rest? There was none of Mr. Trump. So this is the Epstein's 50th birthday party book. So this is in reference to the discovery in New York. Blanche, in your discovery. Maxwell, oh, in my discovery, sorry. President Trump, there was nothing from President Trump. And do you remember, but separate and apart from your discovery, do you remember one way or the other whether President Trump submitted a letter for his 50th birthday? Maxwell, I do not remember.
Do you remember one way that President Trump submitted a letter for his 50th birthday? She says she doesn't remember. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a pretty unique detail. It's not really a big surprise. You're right, we shouldn't take her word for it. We should look at all the other evidence against him. Oh, wait, there is none? Well, I mean, it's undeniable that Trump has said inappropriate, weird things about women that are underage, including his own daughter. He shouldn't have. Big surprise. You're right, we shouldn't take her word for it. We should look at all the other evidence against him. Oh, wait, there is none? Well, I mean, it's undeniable that Trump has said inappropriate, weird things about women that are underage, including his own daughter. He shouldn't have said that, and it was weird for him to say that, for sure. And I think that people hear him say that, or they hear something like that, and it makes people uncomfortable, and they don't trust him.
Sure does.
I mean, so that's it. What has he said? I mean, you can just look it up, right? I mean, there's like four.
He said, and I'm paraphrasing, that the most notable one I can remember is, I think he was on The View, and he said, I would date Ivanka if she wasn't my daughter, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing again.
4 or 5 examples that I would have in my head. Or actually, three examples I have in my head. Not enough to condemn him, though. No, you're right. Making inappropriate comments is the universe of difference between doing something inappropriate with a person who's underage. Like, you know, one of them, like, everybody has intrusive thoughts. Some people verbalize them. But none of that compares to the actual behavior. So, yeah, it's such a double standard. I mean, I don't know about that. It depends. So, yeah, logical man makes no sense to have blind faith. Yeah, exactly. And you can't really know. Why were they not uncomfortable with Joe's pants?
So, the worst things I've seen was that comment he made, but the worst things I saw was that Katie Johnson video that I just watched again. Again, her identity has never been confirmed. She received insane death threats in 2016 when she filed the lawsuit against Trump. She had her car broken into and things stolen. I believe her phone was stolen from her car. This is just what I've seen. I'm not saying this is all fact. I'm just saying what I've read and what I've seen in media reports. He said about his daughter, Ivanka, that if she wasn't my daughter, I would date her. That's not a direct quote. I'm paraphrasing. I'm almost certain he said that when he was on The View. The Katie Johnson video, I believe everything she said. I know a lot of his supporters will say it's fake, it's a witch hunt, you know, her identity's never been confirmed. but I believe what she's saying. The thing about him running teenage beauty pageants in the early 90s, and he made a statement like on Howard Stern, this was in like 2007 or around there, that he could walk in because he owns the place. Again, I'm paraphrasing. He could walk in to the dressing rooms because he owns the place, and it's like he's checking and making sure everything's running well, and that they're getting naked and getting undressed. And, you know, this is a teenage beauty pageant, again, where they're all undressing and some are naked. So, also the Maria Farmer story about meeting Trump in Epstein's office, and she said that that Epstein said to Trump, "Oh no, she's not here for you. You know, go next to the next room, go next door." And I'm paraphrasing. I forget the exact quote of that again. But that's the worst of the allegations that I've read and seen. And again, I'm not saying this is all true. I'm just saying from what I've seen, I'm saying I do believe the person in the Katie Johnson video. So that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that's fact, but I'm just saying what I take from that. What my opinion is. I'm not saying definitively, okay, that happened, everything she said. I'm just saying if I believe her or not, and I do.
Any sniffing? Well, he wasn't doing that, but like he was sniffing people. And also they were. I think everybody can acknowledge, and everybody... Exactly. And you can't really know. Why were they not uncomfortable with Joe's panty sniffing? Well, he wasn't doing that, but like he was sniffing people. And also they were. I think everybody can acknowledge, and everybody agrees. Like, guys, are we all on the same page with this, by the way?
Hold on. In the Hunter Biden Channel 5 interview, he said that a couple of those press photos of Joe Biden supposedly sniffing a couple of girls was heavily taken out of context and falsely portrayed. I think he said that they were from when he was like just giving his niece like a pat on the head or something. So I don't know.
Like, yeah, it's pretty fucking weird the way that Joe Biden acted around girls too. Yeah.
But it's not a partisan issue. You know, any Democrats found to do something wrong, they should go to prison. Democrat or Republican. So whether it was Trump, Clinton, whoever.
It was fucking creepy. It was creepy and weird. Like, I wouldn't want my kid around something like that at all. Yeah. Like the comments about his daughter, it's hyperbole, but it sounds weird. Yeah, it just sounds weird, and it's just problematic. I mean, really, that's all there is to it, more than anything. So, yeah, I don't even worry about that. Did you check out the Destiny stuff yet? Of course, right? People are going to bring that up. Well, I will give you my opinion on the Destiny stuff. These are crimes. Potentially, if you are having...
I've not seen the latest Destiny stuff.
You know, sexual interactions with somebody who's underage, especially because it's done on the internet, and so it's being done federally. And so federally, the age of consent is 18. That is something that is beyond my pay grade. I am not a FBI agent. I am not a police investigator. I am not a lawyer. I do not have any of the information that they have. I'm not going to make, statements, judgments, opinions, or anything like that, or draw conclusions based off of the existing evidence. So, yeah. Nice try, Glowy. Yeah, sure, right?
My opinion is that Trump did do something, but I don't know that for fact. It's just my opinion.
In Texas, it's 17, but you don't want to play with that? The age of consent is 17 in Texas, But the difference is that when you're communicating with people that are in
When I say he did something, I mean he did something with an underage girl, like the Katie Johnson video alleges. So, not just implicated, but he actually did something. That's my opinion. I don't know that for fact, but that is my opinion. From everything I've seen of this, from everything I've read about it. Again, I don't know all the evidence. This is just my opinion. I don't know its fact.
multiple states, the age of consent defaults to 18 because it's online communication, which transcends states' rights. Like, because that obviously, right? Yeah, 16 at sus has been. Well, I'm just telling you, like, that's the answer to the question, right? You ask what's the age.
And if you ask my opinion on, say, oh, you're being partisan here, you're just out to, you know, trash Trump and out to get him, you have TDS, or, you know, no, I actually think Clinton did something as well, okay? So, not partisan. I think my opinion is Clinton did something directly with an underage girl. I don't know that. That's just my opinion.
Consent, that's what the age is. Most states are 16. Well, yeah, it's a local server. Exactly, does it? Yeah, that's my understanding, at least. I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought that's the way it worked. Either way, this is my opinion with the Destiny stuff. You make comments and accusations like that, that's a really big deal. That's
I don't know what he's referring to, so let me just look at this. I'm looking at Destiny's Twitter here. Maybe he deleted something, but I don't see anything. Ugh, great. My fucking camera was obscuring all of this.
extremely serious. I'm not going to go and I don't want to talk about it, really. I don't want to go through all the data. I don't want to figure out whether who's lying and who's not lying. That is something for the police to decide, and I don't want to have anything to do with it. So, yeah. What if a teenager in Texas communicates? They're releasing the Epstein files. Important Ghislaine Maxwell, a newly released DOJ interview transcript, says she does not believe that Epstein committed suicide. I do not believe he died by suicide, no. Wow. So they released the entire transcript. Here's the problem with what I think this is. The newly released transcript shows Ghislaine Maxwell testifying that President Trump never acted inappropriately with anyone or received any, quote, massages. Todd Blanche, did you ever observe President Trump receive a massage? Let me see here. Did you ever receive it? And she says, no, she never saw it. You know, like 1% of a 1% of a 1%, right? I mean, I don't know. You'd have to ask some lawyer. It's a really big deal. That's extremely serious. Well, I'm just telling you, like, that's the answer to the question, right? You ask what's the age of consent, that's what the age is. Most states are 16. Well, yeah, it's a local server. Exactly, does it? Yeah, that's my understanding, at least. I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought that's the way it worked. Either way, this is my opinion with the Destiny stuff. You make comments and accusations like that, that's a really big deal. That's extremely serious. I'm not going to go and I don't want to talk about it, really. I don't want to go through all the data. I don't want to figure out whether who's lying and who's not lying. That is something for the police to decide, and I don't want to have anything to do with it. So, yeah. What if a teenager in Texas communicated with another teen from a country where the age of consent is 14? I don't know. I mean, you're talking about, like, you know, like 1% of a 1% of a 1%, right? I mean, I don't know. You'd have to ask some lawyer that deals in cases like that what the answer for that is. I have no idea. But either way, that's what I would say. 16 is too young for age of consent. Yuck. Well, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't want to get into, like, a big argument and say, like, this is the age or that's the age. I think that here's one thing that a lot of people can agree with, though. Whenever you're over, like, 30 years old, you probably shouldn't be trying to talk to a lot of teenagers. Even if they're like 18 or 19, a lot of people think that's weird. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not saying that you can't do it. Obviously, legally, you can do this. It's okay legally for you to do this.
True.
But I think that it makes a lot of people uncomfortable, and it's a bit odd.
Also true.
So that's it. Why the fuck have an all states made at 18? Well, I mean, the fact is that, like, you know, historically, 18 is a very old age. I mean, many people had kids back in the Middle Ages, like, whenever they were young teens. Like, it's actually a very, very weird thing.
People used to get married when they were like 21, 20. Now it's like, if you're before 40, it's like becoming exceedingly rare.
For a recent thing that, you know, the age is as high as it is. But I think the reason why is, I mean, there's a million reasons why. I mean, we're living in a totally different society. People aren't dying at 35 like they used to. And so we're on a totally different timeline. So obviously it makes more sense now. But the point that I'm making is that, like, I don't want to have a big argument over what should be the age of consent, right? But the point is that if you're doing it, even if it is somebody that is of age, I mean, if you're like 37 or 36 or whatever, that's a pretty big age difference, right? It is. And, like, I get that, like, guys want, you know, they'll see some hot young girl, you know, that's like some 19-year-old girl on OnlyFans, and they'll think that she's really attractive, and, like, okay, yeah, you want to do that, that's fine. But, like, going and having an active relationship with her and everything, that's very different than just being a gooner. And so, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Human brains don't fully develop till 25. It should be higher. I don't know. I think that the age, like, do you guys agree with me here about, like, the age difference being a big factor? Because, like, for me, like, so I'm 35. I'm 35. It would be very odd for me to date a girl seriously that was 20 years old.
Yeah, I'm of the same opinion.
I would say, do you remember back whenever they had VHS and she would say no? You know?
Oh, dear Lord.
Like, she born after 9/11. Right? I mean, damn, that's a
Do you remember the Nintendo 64?
totally different universe. So it's legal, right? It's legal to do that, and, you know, sure, somebody wants to do that. I'm not going to really criticize them, but that's just my opinion. That's the way I feel about it. Something being weird doesn't mean it's wrong. I
agree 100% with Asmund's take on this, yeah. If you're 36, 38, dating 20 or 19-year-olds, yes, it's not illegal, but it's weird and creepy, and people are going to think it's weird and creepy.
Listen, what consenting adults do between each other is between them. You're asking me what my opinion is. I'm giving you my opinion. But fundamentally, everybody gets to choose their own destiny. And I think that's fine.
Yep.
Ah, damn it. The girl likes 20 and I'm 35? Then go out with her. Do whatever you want. Like, why would my judgment on something have an impact on the way that you want to live your life? Why should you allow...
Unfortunately, dude, you'd be surprised at how often that parasocial relationships have materialized in this fucked up day and age.
Me to make a decision on the way that you want to live your life. Do whatever you want to do. There's nothing wrong with you doing that. But, like, again, I'm giving you my opinion. Yeah, live your life. Yeah, YOLO, right? Would you go for 25 if she's into you?
YOLO.
Well, maybe, probably. Depends on who it is, right? I mean, I don't know. Like, I think it depends on a person. I'd have to think about it. I mean, I'd probably want to date somebody at least a little bit older than that, but, like, maybe not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, I mean, beggars can't be choosers for some guy like me, right? But overall, that's the way that I feel about it. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to comment. This is the same thing I've said before about other people's allegations, is that sexual allegations and sexual misconduct allegations, I don't want to make comments on those events anymore. Unless it is like a super cut and dried case, I do not want to do that. Because I feel like a lot of the people that do it...
Well, that's his right. He doesn't have to do it. As he said, he's done it before, and it was always him just sharing his opinion. But, you know, it can get you in hot water, you know.
I'm going to be real. Do not do it in a way that is responsible. And I think that I've probably been a person who's done that myself in the past. And so at this point in my life, I don't want to have anything to do with this anymore. Like, I don't want to comment on actual legal matters. I want to leave that to the police and the courts to decide. So really, it's just that simple. Would you accept it if your daughter was with an old man? If my daughter was, like, let's say, so, like, if I had, like, a 20-year-old daughter and she was dating, like, a 65-year-old guy.
What sort of question is that?
No, I wouldn't like it at all. I think it was an old man. If my daughter was, like, let's say, so, like, if I had, like, a 20-year-old daughter and she was dating, like, a 65-year-old guy.
Hell no.
No, I wouldn't like it at all. I think it was really weird. Now, obviously, like, it's her right to do that. But, like, I mean, and it's not like I'd disown her. But, I mean, and it's like, so basically, I would be, like, it's her life. She can decide and do what she wants to do.
Yeah. You know, but I wouldn't like it.
Like, I wouldn't say, like, I hate you now. I don't want to talk to you. Like, I don't want to have anything to do with you. If she had a kid with him, I'd take care, you know, I'd be like, oh, this is my grandkid. Yeah, for sure, right? Of course. But at the same time, yeah, I think it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, isn't that normal? Yeah, I think that's totally normal, isn't it? You wouldn't be, yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable with it, but I would accept it because it's her life. She's an adult, and she gets to choose what she wants.
Yep.
That's it.
100%.
I know. What a boring, hopefully well-adjusted answer.
I'm sure Twitter and TikTok will love that reasonable take.
You usually don't get those from me. But, yeah, that's generally what I think about it. So it's redacted. Let me see. I'm just going to pull this up and see what it says. Transcript day 1. How much of this is redacted? I'm assuming there's not going to... Well, I mean, obviously there's not going to be...
Yeah, before, earlier in my stream, I looked at the first, like, 16 pages. I don't think I saw any redactions, but, you know... I mean, it'll take me forever. I mean, I'm probably going to read more of it later, but...
anything that's, like, inappropriate on here.
I haven't seen, like, reports on how redacted it is. It could be a little, it could be a lot. I don't know.
It looks like very few things are redacted. Like, I think I saw a black bar. That might have actually just been the page turning, though. Yeah, I think it was the page turning. Damn.
Oh.
Damn, bro. Like, they had it.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. He met, and I think that it was responsible. Oh, wow. I think that in December of 2021... Wait, what is this here? 15-year period. Mr. Epstein requiring masseuses to be naked. I think that because in December 2001, he met DOJ Redaction, and I think Redaction was responsible for that in its entirety. Bill Clinton.
Prince Andrew?
That would have been the accusers in...
Virginia Giuffre said in 2001, that's when Prince Andrew sexually abused her.
My case, that would have been that person here, subsequent to or simultaneously, came through, and her boyfriend. Okay.
Tony.
Well, I guess that's a female
else
that was involved in this as well. Damn, they got a lot of these. So all they really redacted were a few names. The other person, who's clearly also not an adult or even close, the redaction,
I mean, so far it's a few names.
I believe, is her now. Wow. In my trial, was clearly underage, clearly a child. I only saw her in Palm Beach, and I only saw her with her mother. What the fuck? Damn. Quite a riddle. Yeah, this is nuts, man. What happened with the relationship? Putting aside publicity around Prince Andrew's purported relationship with Redacted. What happened, do you know? Jeffries told me, Epstein told me Andrew is coming to New York. I need to organize the whole thing. That's a classic by Epstein. Oh, man. And with respect to DOJ Redaction and Prince Andrew, do you know about that relationship? I think it sounds to me like these redactions are victims' names and not the perpetrators.
That's what it sounds to me like.
Like if I just search, like so let me just go
But who knows how many redactions exactly? I don't know exactly how many there are redactions, so...
through. I can search this document, right? So Bill Gates. So for example, I was doing really, really well. How do you know? Investing in Apple. I didn't know Bill Gates, so this is not...
Apple. When nobody liked Apple, this is, before Apple or Microsoft. I didn't know Bill Gates, so this is not related to him.
related to him. Okay, so it's got nothing to do really with Bill Gates. All right, how about Clinton? Okay, Clinton, one of 43 matches.
Oh, Jesus.
Huh. Wow. Wow. That's a lot.
Boy, oh boy, wowee.
Let's look at Trump. Let's see how many times Trump was mentioned. Trump was mentioned 3 times. So Bill Clinton was mentioned, and this is the second part. I don't know, the first part could be different. But the second part, Bill Clinton was mentioned 43 times.
Oh, so
and Trump...
he's reading a part. He's not reading the whole thing. He's reading a certain part of the full transcript.
Was mentioned 3 times. Let's look at Prince Andrew. Andrew is mentioned 3 times also. Let's see, who else? Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is not mentioned at all in this second page. Obama. Obama is not mentioned. Biden. Biden is not mentioned. Okay, let me actually move it up so you guys can see. Okay, let's see what else. Bill Gates already did that. Hillary. Hillary is mentioned more than... Damn. Did you ever meet Secretary Clinton, Hillary Clinton? Ghislaine Maxwell says yes. When did you meet her? I want to say, again, please don't hold me to it. Uh-oh. But I want to say that it was on a flight that came from the island. Not from the island, from the Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard back to New York, is what I think. Did the ex-president never came to the island? So is this the Epstein Island, or is this the island in Nantucket? I don't even know where the Epstein Island actually is. I don't know which one it is.
The Epstein Island is Little St. James in the British Virgin Islands. Epstein Island is Little St. James in the Virgin Islands. I'm 99% sure of that.
Is that the only time you met Hillary Clinton? No, I went to the house in Shakawawa. I don't know what the fuck that is. Man. It's in, yeah, I thought so. Little St. James, okay. Lonely Island? No, that's a band. Okay. Do you know whether Epstein had any sort of business dealings or associated with Hillary Clinton? I would say no. Did you ever see them together? No. Did you...
And do you know whether Mr. Epstein knew or had any sort of visit dealings or associated with Hillary Clinton? Maxwell, I would say no. Did you ever see them together? Maxwell, no. Did you know whether Mr. Epstein ever did any business transactions with the Clintons? Maxwell, I would. Well, I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure how to quite... I don't know the answer to that strictly because I was part of the beginning process of the Clinton Global Initiative, and that was something that I helped with, and that was me, and Epstein may have helped me with them. And in that context, he may well have involved himself, but only in the context of something that I was trying to do. That seemed quite evasive. Blanche, so when you say involved himself, meaning like give money to the Clinton Global Initiative or something like this, Maxwell, well, so there's that. I think he did do that, and that I believe the money that he may have given could have been independent of me. But I think it's just easier if I just tell you how it happened rather than, otherwise it sounds all odd and funky. I went to Davos with a former president, and have you been to Davos? Blanche, in what? Maxwell, have you been to Davos? Blanche, I have not. Maxwell, okay, well, you know, you know what it is, right? Okay, so, and I thought the former president should have his own Davos because it would be, and they had it turned out that they had been thinking about it anyway. No.
Know Mr. Epstein did any business with the Clintons? I would. Well, I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure how to quite. I don't know the answer to that strictly. I was part of the beginning process of the Clinton Global Initiative. Man. Oh, wow. John Podesta? Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, it's a good idea. Podesta? Nope, not him. All right, let's try another one. Soros? George Soros is mentioned 4 times. How did you know George Soros? I was friends with his kids. Whether George Soros or his kids ever traveled on Epstein's planes, I don't think so. Yeah, they probably had their own. Okay, wow. Tom Cruise?
Wow.
No. Yeah, Tom Cruise is not there. Jimmy Kimmel? Jimmy doesn't even search result. There's nothing there. Bill Gates already tried that. I mean, obvious. Bush. How'd nobody ask that? Okay. Elon. Good idea. Elon. 2 matches. Do you know Elon Musk? I do. How did you meet him? I met him and I don't remember. Okay. But if you're saying it's...
She says, I don't remember, but it's going to be in 2010, 11, something like that.
Sounds like, but if you don't know, we can move on. Okay. All right. So yeah, nothing's really, yeah, so she said she met Elon. Okay. It's not really a whole lot to go there. And let me see if I can search on this one too. Trump. And then Trump is only 2 matches right here. Damn. Well, that certainly says a lot. Michael Jackson. Oh, shit. Ooh, good one. None on here. How about this one? Nope, not Michael Jackson at all. Biden, I already tried that. Kevin
This could go for a long time.
Spacey. Yep. Kevin Spacey. I know him from that same flight. Do you know him from any other thing? Oh, shit.
Do you know him? I know him also from that same flight. Blanche, aside from that flight, do you know him from any other thing? Maxwell. No. Blanche. Naomi Campbell. Maxwell. Yes, I do know Naomi, and I knew her before I met Mr. Epstein and Mr. Former President Clinton.
Him from any other thing? Oh, shit. For 3, did they ever travel to Mr. Epstein's properties? Not Mr. Tucker. or Mr. Spacey. Mr. Tucker or Mr. Spacey may
So Mr. Tucker, I'm almost certain is Chris Tucker.
have. Wow. Oh, wait a second. Oh, no, I misread. I bad English that. She's saying Kevin Spacey and Tucker did not, but Naomi Campbell might have. Sorry, I bad English that. That's my fault. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. What about CNN members? Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about CNN at all. Stephen Hawking. Nope, not on there. I'm going to search the other one for that one, actually. I'm actually kind of curious about that. No, just Black Hawk. That's the only search result for Hawking is Black Hawk.
Black Hawk.
So I don't know what that means at all. Looks like not a whole lot.
Black Hawk. Black Hawk helicopters? Or just Black Hawk? Oh.
Prince Charles.
Prince
I'll see
Chazza.
if there's any other princes.
Oh, there's a lot. Prince Chazza.
But yeah, there's only that. Yeah, nothing on here, and I'll search this one more time if there's any other princes. Yeah, nothing as a search result for that either. So Tom Hanks, I already looked that one up. But yeah, this is pretty suspicious, man. I'll certainly say that. Absolutely. Man. Okay, all right, one more. One more, we will do it. I will search for Diddy. Huge surprise. 2 results. Surprised by P. Diddy from Redux issues. How do you satisfy a mob that can't understand the lifestyle? Okay, sure. And then what's the other one? Okay, there's just that. And then how about Diddy for this one too? Yeah, and it looks like there's nothing on there. So, okay, well, there we go. So the Maxwell interview has been released. Here is the concern that I have. I don't
have
know
a lot.
if there's anything that they can do right now that will really gain back the public's trust. Because I think so many people now just don't trust the government with how they handled this Epstein situation at all.
Yep.
And so, search for Sean Combs. Well, I mean, they referred to him as Diddy already, so I think that would be it. But anyway, they stalled too long. Yeah, this is a gigantic nothing. Well, you're right. You're right. There was nothing that here was like a smoking gun or anything like that that's like super, like, specific. And Bill Clinton asked about it. The evidence is clear. Okay.
Oh, in terms of direct criminal evidence of wrongdoing against minors, so far, yeah, that chatter was right. Yeah, nothing. It is nothing burger. Yeah.
Okay. So that's about it. I mean, there's nothing else really more to say to it other than that. Yeah.